He is a
Civil
affairs officer with the Army. He works a lot in Germany and in Africa. So everyone take your seats, and he's going to talk.
All right, how you guys doing today?
Outstanding, sir.
All right, that sounded motivational. Let's ask one more time, see if we can bring it up a little bit. How you guys doing tonight?
Outstanding, sir.
That's what I like to hear. I want to talk to you guys about 3 things that I think is important. So as I was introduced, I'm Col Feliciano. I happened to be here for a couple of days visiting family, and I was invited, and I'm super excited to be able to spend some minutes with you guys to not only learn about the civil affairs, the Civil Air Patrol program, but also to meet each and every one of you. And before I say any words, I want to give you guys a thank you for joining this program and being a part of it, because as young people, you have so much opportunity, and by joining a program like this, you're starting out on the right path to learn the skills and the tools you need to be successful, and more importantly, have a fulfilling life. So I think there's 3, before I start, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I joined the Army in 2002, right before, 2001, right before 9/11. You guys were too young for 9/11. But I joined the Army and I was an artillery officer. From there, I became a civil affairs officer. I worked in assignments in Afghanistan, Italy, throughout Africa, here in Fort Liberty in North Carolina. And most recently, I worked in Syracuse. I was a battalion commander for a civil affairs company. Our focus was Africa and Europe. So most of the things that I've worked in the Army are leadership-based, getting a lot of people to do difficult tasks. And that's hard to do, because when you have a lot of people who aren't thinking in the right direction, it's kind of like having a bunch of musicians who can't play together. It doesn't sound great, correct? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good. So I think it's appropriate for me to share some points and lessons that I've garnered in my career that can hopefully give you guys some insight into what you guys are joining by joining an organization. And by no means am I pushing the military on you, but the fact is, you guys are an organization, and an organization is always trying to accomplish a mission. And if you guys can't work together, you're not going to accomplish that mission, and the fulfillment that the organization is going to have is not going to be good, and the fulfillment that you as an individual are going to have is not going to be good. You guys get me there?
Yes, sir!
Good. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is being a good follower. I think you're going to hear throughout your lives about leadership. Your parents are going to talk to you about leadership, school's going to talk to you about leadership. But let me tell you something. If you can't be a good follower, you can't be a good leader. Good followers are paying attention to what the leaders ask of them. Good followers know when to take initiative and know when to stay quiet and just follow. Good followers know when there's a safety issue, they put their hand up and say, hey, this is not safe. Because whose responsibility is safety? Everybody's responsibility, correct?
Yes, sir!
Good to hear. So to be a good leader, you need to be a good follower, and that takes a lot of practice. Remember that in an organization, leadership is a pyramid. How many leaders are there? There's a lot less leaders. There's a lot less leaders than there are followers. But without the followers, leaders aren't effective. So I put that on you so that you guys can pay attention to where you're at. Whether this is your first time here at the program or you've been here for a couple of years, the fact is, you're part of this pyramid. And at some point, you'll reach the top wherever you end up doing it, whether it's this organization or another one. So that leads me on to the second point. As you become a good follower, you start paying attention to preparing yourself to become a good leader, right? And when you become a good leader, what you want is your subordinates, the people who make you your money, the people who work and do the things that you need them to do, to treat you fairly and kindly. So remember, when you're a follower, to treat your leader the way you would want to be treated when you're in the leadership position. That means if they're asking you to do something, do it with the same sense of urgency that you would like it done if you were in charge. Because leadership is very, very difficult. Leaders make mistakes. And when a leader makes a mistake, you don't want that follower to highlight that mistake for you. You want the follower to understand that you're a human being and to help you get over that mistake or lesson. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
And the last point that I talked to you, the first point was followership. The second point that I want to talk to you about is, in your lives, you're always going to be at crossroads. In anything you do, whether it's this program, your personal lives, even dealing with your parents and your friends, you're always going to have constant crossroads. There's going to be an easy road, and there's going to be a hard road. Always take the hard road. When you take the easy road, you get lazy. You get complacent. You don't enjoy life. When you take the hard road, it's difficult. The hard road means get up early. The hard road means make your bed in the morning. The hard road means brush your teeth without somebody telling you brush your teeth. Because if you get a cavity, you know who's going to have to feel the pain? You are. That's the hard road. The hard road is when you smell a little bad, go shower. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The skills you build now by taking the hard road become habits. And in life, there's nothing stronger than habit. And as you have good habits, you get older, and things become easier. It's kind of like doing push-ups. If every day you wake up and you do 5 push-ups, you get really good at doing 5 push-ups. So then you start doing 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then you get to 100, and it becomes nothing. But you didn't wake up one day and do 100 push-ups. It takes time. So as you take the hard road, things get easier. So my first point was followership. The second point was taking. Go ahead.
Take the hard road.
Perfect. Now my last point. My last point. What is your name?
Ariel.
Ariel. Do you want to have an interesting life?
Yes.
Right? What is your name? The one with the pink water bottle.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, do you want to have an interesting life?
Yeah.
How about you?
Yes.
What is your name?
No.
Noah, do you want to have an interesting life?
Yes.
Do you want to have an interesting life?
Always.
Did you notice that all the individuals I pointed to, I asked them a simple question. Do you want to have an interesting life? And everybody said yes. I think if you ask everybody in your lives, do you want to have an interesting life? Everybody's going to say yeah. An interesting life means you did fun things. You took on difficult tasks and you accomplished them and you feel good about yourself. You took on challenges. You helped somebody out. Do you know whose responsibility it is for you to have an interesting life? Who?
Yourselves.
Exactly. So what am I telling you with that? What do you think I'm telling you with that?
I think you're saying that it's your responsibility, you're in control about what happens in your life, and you can choose whether or not to have to achieve the things you want to
I
achieve.
think you got it right. Listen, I think technology is great. And I use technology every day. And I think you guys as young people, you're probably playing video games, and the satisfaction you get from immediately joining a video game and playing it and feeling good, I understand it and I think it's fun. But it is on you to disconnect from that and find things in your life, because life is short, that make your life interesting. Don't wait for the video game to entertain you. Find a way to entertain yourselves. This organization is part of making your life interesting. And if you're part of the organization right now and you're enjoying it, then these words aren't for you because you're enjoying it. I think you're enjoying it.
Yes, sir.
If you're part of this organization and you're on the verge of getting out, ask yourself why. Do you have a better situation that you're going to? Or are you now not taking the hard road by leaving? And if you're part of this organization and every time you come here, they're not fulfilling what you expected to fulfill, then I'm asking you, what are you doing to provide a solution to make this organization the most interesting organization in the country? That means every individual in here that's part of this organization has a responsibility to make this organization better. That means when you walk out this room and you see a piece of paper, do you need me to tell you to pick up the piece of paper and put it in the trash? Because if you pick it up, who are you picking it for, yourself or for the team? What do you think?
Depends, like, if it's just you, it's for yourself, but if it's like with a bunch of other people and it's not your trash, it's for the team.
It's for the team. So I want you to remember that. It is your responsibility to make your life interesting. Don't wait for somebody to give you the immediate satisfaction and do it for you. Don't expect somebody to hand it to you. Don't expect to the movie theater and watch a movie and just have a fun life because you watched the movie. If you just watch the movie or play the video game, you know what you are? You're a spectator. You're just part of the audience. You know who has fun in life? The people that get involved and they do the hard things. And let me clarify something when I say these words. that means be prepared to fail. That means you're gonna get up, you're gonna try to do something hard, and you're going to fail, and it's gonna feel bad. But the key is, every time you fail, you should be learning something. Now, if you fail every time because of the same mistake, you gotta ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? Simply stated, every person in here has put their finger in an electrical outlet once, just to see how it feels. That's a mistake. But if you keep putting your finger in the same electrical outlet, there's a problem. You gotta ask yourself why. So what I want you to take out of this is make your life interesting. Learn to fail, but be smart at failing so you're not making the same mistake. As you fail, you'll start accomplishing and getting things right, and that feels good, and you'll get addicted to that, and that'll make you successful in anything you do. I commend every single one of you guys for being part of this program. I challenge every single one of you guys to make this program better, and as soon as you get comfortable in the duty that you're doing, make sure you say, I want more responsibility. Because the people who are getting promoted today aren't getting promoted because of their accomplishments. They're getting promoted because of the potential they have to do more for the organization. And remember, the values that your organization has, you have to make sure that you make this better for somebody else. Because being a good steward of society and being selfless, and providing selfless service, makes your community and makes the world a better place. All right, I'll stop talking there, and I'll open it up for any points of discussion. Anybody want to ask a question or make a point or anything that I said that connected with them? Yeah. You don't have to get up, let's just stay sitting.
So when you were talking about leadership and followership, what would happen if follower knows that the leader is doing something wrong?
Number one, I would say what a great opportunity for that follower to learn. Because then the follower has to make that judgment decision. Is this really that big of a deal that I have to say something? In other words, let's say the leader's checking your uniform and makes a mistake. Is it worth you embarrassing the leader in front of everybody?
No.
Or is this something you can pull the person to the side and say, hey, I think you're wrong, maybe you should check this out? Or is it the leader stealing or is doing something